Devin, we haven't talked to you since before Dallas, obviously.
Yeah.
Can you kind of take us through what that night was like for you?
It was a lot. There was a lot that happened, and I mean, mostly just a lot of emotions. Was just sick. Like, I remember just sitting there after the game, just thinking about how I really couldn't help in the game. I just wasn't able to do anything. I think I had 2.5 drives or whatever that was, and for a little injury like that to happen again on the other leg, same injury earlier in the season, it was a struggle for sure.
How long did coming back from that injury take for you?
I mean, luckily, like having the time, I was able just to rest it a lot more than I did, the one I did against Penn State. But I'd say it didn't take me too long. Like I really didn't miss out anything this all off season. I was able to do everything and do all the mat drills and stuff like that.
Didn't involve anything more than just rest.
Yeah. I didn't do a surgery or anything.
Devin, what kind of cotton ball do you think you might have had if you didn't get hurt?
I mean, obviously, I would think the best of it to happen, but there's no way I would really be able to tell you what would happen.
How prepared did you feel?
Really
going into
prepared.
that game?
Yeah, I mean, we had a month of preparation, and we put so much work into it, and like I felt like my relationships with everybody was great. I mean, I was working extra hours with Coach Fitch and Coach Dennis in there and getting on the film stuff, and I just felt like the game plan was really clean and we were ready to go, and then just all went away.
Devin, how do you process the situation where you are the guy for the month of December? Obviously, the start doesn't go the way you would want it to, and then they bring in someone else like Will. Just how do you process that as a player and just someone who's at Ohio State?
That's Ohio State. I mean, you're always going to have the best players no matter what. I didn't care coming in here who was in here. I've never cared who's in here. I mean, I've said it from the start. I could care less. I'm going to come in and compete, and that's always been my motto.
What's your level of confidence that you can win the starting job this year?
I mean, I have all the confidence in the world. I'll never doubt myself. I'll never have any, waivers and anything like that. I'm always going to think I'm the best quarterback in the room and the best quarterback in the country, so I'm going to attack it like that.
What did Coach Day say to you when he made the decision to bring in Will?
It was just, something he felt like we needed for the team and, to push the quarterback room and push this offense.
Devin, are you definitely going to be here this fall, or is it too early to say anything definitively?
I've said it through and through. I'm a Buckeye, and I'm here to compete no matter what.
Why do you think people have a hard time believing that, Devin? In this transfer portal NIL?
Honestly, I think people are cowards. I think people have this, this thought in their own heads that I'm going to leave and I'm a quitter, but that's never been me. I mean, these people live, wherever in their mom's basement, saying stuff about me, and they don't know shit. Excuse my language, but they don't know anything. They don't know who I am. They don't know who I've been, and that's always who I've been.
Devin, how hard is it to keep that mentality when it seems like each time you get a chance, something that's really out of your control derails kind of that chance?
That's life. I mean, it's always going to be like that no matter what, and so you can't control any of it. All you can control is yourself and how you do it.
Devin, related to that, though, is there something that you and Mick and the training staff have been able to commit to this offseason to try to help you strengthen your ankle? Something you can do to prevent this?
Yeah, definitely. There's been some work with that, especially, in the training room and with Sean and Solo and all those guys. They've been on it with me. And it just was like 2 freak deals. It was just weird. My cleat just got stuck in the ground both times. And there's things that I've been able to do to strengthen my ankles again. But, yeah, it was just a freak deal.
So you're chalking up to bad luck, really, because I don't think you had issues in high school.
No, I was very, injury-free in high school. Never really had any ankle problems or anything like that. And then just 2 times where my cleats got stuck and got twisted around. And
Devin,
does it come down to a deal, though, when you get into practices this spring and in your career? Is it like we're double taping the ankles, or how does this work to prevent?
Yeah, I used to never tape my ankles. Like, I didn't even tape them in high school, but now they'll definitely be taped up, and I'll have bigger cleats, and, it'll be as cautious as we can be.
Devin, did you know it right away?
Yeah, I knew the exact pain, exactly what it was. As soon as it happened, it looked like I grabbed my leg, but I just knew exactly where it was.
You said bigger cleats, not smaller cleats?
No, the bigger linemen, thick around the ankles and everything. Yeah, try to get as much brace as possible.
The bigger shoe, not the cleat itself. The bigger.
Yeah,
shoes.
Like the ankle part. I used to just wear the speed cleats, the cleats that the receivers were wearing, but now they got me in some bigger ones.
What are your thoughts on Chip Kelly coming in? You've been through Kevin Wilson, Brian Hartline. Lived through the Bill O'Brien era.
Yeah.
And now Chip Kelly. What do you think of Chip Kelly coming in?
He's been great. He's been awesome. I feel like I have a really good relationship with him. He recruited me to UCLA when I was still coming out of Corner Canyon, so we kind of already had that relationship. Him and Coach Fry. It's funny. I was talking with them. I was sitting in their office in LA, telling them I wasn't going to go there, and then they both followed me here, so it's pretty funny. But no, he's been great. We've had a lot of meetings, and I love the system that he's brought in and the wording of everything. So it's been a good time.
I'm sure you know now. Did you know, like last year at this time, that Chip Kelly was Ryan Day's mentor? Like, would you have known that?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I mean, when I was getting recruited by both of them, they both talked to me about each other before, so I knew that.
What stands out about Chip just in his interpersonal relationships with you? You know what I mean? How does he speak to you, so to speak?
Very laid back and, wanting us to learn. He's very, teacher orientated. He wants us to learn and really process everything without giving us the information. So it's been good.
And do you sense the quarterback's going to have an even bigger role in the running game with him? And what's your sense on that?
I feel like it's going to be pretty similar to how it was before. I mean, we're always going to have our reads, and I think the offense is going to be the offense.
Yeah. Devin, is going through what you did last offseason with battling with Kyle from really December to the season help you, do you think, for this year?
Yeah, for sure. To be able to go through another quarterback competition like that has definitely prepared me, and knowing what I messed up on or what I could have done differently, it's definitely going to be a huge plus for me this year.
Has Ryan explained what maybe the rep distribution might be? You can't.
No, we haven't talked about that at all. Yeah.
You mentioned the comments from people who don't know what you're thinking. Do you listen to that much, or do you try to just block it out?
No, I really don't listen to any of it. Like people see me tweet stuff sometimes. I'll go on and just tweet something and like that's it. I'll just turn it off or delete it off my phone. But I'll have my dad. My dad will send me stuff sometimes, like all mad, or like a family member will send me something like, "Look at what this person said." And at the end of the day, I just don't care. Like I've never cared, good or bad, what somebody has to say about me.
Devin, what's most different about you now at this time of year compared to last year?
I would say the biggest thing for me this year has just been like the leadership role that I've kind of fallen into and worked my way into. I felt like last year was still a little different coming off of being behind CJ Stroud. I didn't really know like what it was truly like to be a leader. And I felt like obviously I still had like those traits to do that. I just wasn't really exerting myself like that. And I feel like this year now I've been around the guys again for another year, and guys have trusted me, and I've seen what I've done in practice, and seen what I've done all year round. So I feel like them knowing what I'm able to do, it's just different now being able to lead.
You talked about consistency right before the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
You felt like you were being a lot more consistent in practice. How can you kind of translate that now to spring ball?
The nice thing is that the offense isn't really different, and it's all the same things, and the game has slowed down a lot more for me. So being able to go out there and know exactly what's going to go on out there, it'll definitely make it easier.
You've been through a quarterback battle. And I'm not trying to lead you down a bad path here, but would you prefer to know at the end of the spring who the starting quarterback is? I mean, based on what you went through last year, or does it matter?
I don't think it really matters at the end of the day. I mean, if you're getting reps, that's all that matters, and you're working with the guys. Like how we did it last year, we were still, taking 1 reps and 2 reps. Like we were just working with everybody and being able to build a relationship with everybody. It didn't really feel like it was anything that harmed us.
Getting that start though in the Cotton Bowl, what did that do for you from a confidence standpoint? Obviously, it didn't end. The first half didn't end the way you wanted it to.
Yeah.
But what did that do for you from a confidence standpoint of knowing they did put their trust in you? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was nice to know that, there's nothing behind you. Like, you can just go out and play free. Like, there's really no stress on the fact that you might not have a job or you're going to lose a job or anything. It was just go out and play and be you. Like, that's why you came here, was because of your playing ability.
Have you and Will talked about how you're going to handle this, or is it just happening?
It's just going to happen, yeah.
You mentioned the 2 ankle injuries. There was also obviously the finger injury last spring that kept you out of the spring game.
Yeah.
Are you still at a place where you're like, I still haven't been able to show people what I can really do? For sure. I mean, I don't think I've had a few reps here and there at moments that I didn't think were anything that really defined who I am.
So, Devin, we've talked a lot about the physical things that you've been through, but give us an idea mentally. How hard has this been for you to kind of be up and down and working through injuries you didn't see coming and trying to grind your way through all this?
Yeah, it was definitely tough. I mean, there was long nights of having to battle through all that, and it was definitely a hard time for me. But especially like building up into that Penn State week when we were slowly building that whole goal line package and building it into more and more, and then for the injury to happen, just felt like it was all stripped away from me. And then the same thing happens in the Cotton Bowl. Just work really hard to do all that, and then for it to be stripped away from you, it just feels like it was all for naught. And felt like a waste of time almost, but at the same time, I cherish that moment, and I'm thankful for that moment because it's who I am today now.
So I don't mean to be coy about it, but how are you better for having gone through all of that? Like how have those mental challenges pushed you to be a better player?
It's been night and day for me. I mean, being a 19 and 20-year-old kid through the season and going through 3 different injuries and all these different emotions, I feel like I'm a different person now. I'm a different man now. I'm another year older, and I've been in the system for another year. I've been in college football for another year, and so I feel like it's only going to be better for me from here on out.
How close do you think you were to winning the
I was very close. I mean, I felt like at one point I was ahead for a while, and then things just kind of went here and there and just kind of slowly fell off. But I definitely felt like I was right there.
So then, given all that you just said about how you've grown in the last year, and you were that close last year, right? How confident do you feel about your ability in this quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I have all the confidence in the world to know I can go out and do this and lead this team, and I've never had a thought that I couldn't do that.
When we talk to Coach Day about Will Howard, he brings up things like his running ability and leadership, things like that. I would think you think that a lot of those things reflect well on you, right? When you hear him saying that, is that hitting your ear the same way that like you can go out and show competence those same ways?
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Devin, when Will committed here, it was after the portal window had closed for you guys. So I'm wondering, during that whole process where he's visiting, they're communicating with Will, like how informed are you during that whole recruitment? Yeah,
they had told me, like the coaches have told me everything that was happening before it all came out, and I knew that he was going to visit, and we were probably going to take him before I was even back in Ohio. I was still in Arizona on break before the portal closed as well.
What's your impression of Will Howard?
He's been great. Will's been a good guy. He's a good, addition to the quarterback room. He's a fun guy outside of the Woody. Like we've hung out multiple times outside of the Woody and been able to be friends off the field. So it's been good.
A couple more questions, folks.
What's it like to see Julian and Air? What's your impressions of those guys?
They're doing good. I mean, they're both trying to figure everything out and also push each other at the same time. That first year, there's a lot going on, and it's going to be funny to see, when they come out here for spring ball for the first time and the bullets are actually flying, how different it is than high school. But they've been doing a really good job. Their attention to detail in the quarterback room has been, a lot better than I've seen in a long time and any quarterbacks that I've ever seen before.
Devin, you're making it pretty clear that you're ready to fight for this job and compete for this job. I don't know. It seems like you have a little edge to you about it. Like, just what do you like right now? What do you like day to day? Where are you mentally? What have you been like in the weight room this offseason? Like, how fired up are you right now about it?
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for football to be here again. I mean, just the sour taste I had in my mouth after that game, it's just been like sitting inside me and rotten. Like that fuel has just been kept building in me, and I'm just ready to unleash this flame and to go out there and do something.
What have been your first impressions of Jeremiah?
He's a freak. He's going to be next level. I mean, that guy handles things the right way, does everything right in the right room. I was throwing with him yesterday, and like every time I throw him, it's like, geez, this kid's a stud. He's going to be a freak.
And he could catch almost any pass. I mean,
he's just so smooth. Like he's just super smooth, super athletic. He's a big kid. I mean, what is he? 6'3", 6'4". Could snag it literally anywhere. Like he was making a couple one-handers yesterday. I was like, this kid's just freaky.
Yeah. When you heard when everything went down at the beginning of January, Nick Saban retires, and all of a sudden Julian Sayin walks in the room. You already got a pretty crowded room a little bit. How did you I guess process all of that? The number one quarterback in the 2024 class is now in your room.
It's great. I mean, bring on everybody. It doesn't matter. Like I said, I came here to compete with the best, and Ohio State's always going to have the best quarterbacks. That's what we're always going to do no matter what.
But when he first showed up in a meeting or something, I mean, how did you guys get to know each other? I mean, it just the air's there too.
I don't even remember the first time I met with them. Probably just talked to him in the locker room, just like gave him a handshake or something, said what's up, introduced myself. But I feel like I just kind of been a leader on the field and off the field with them. Like I've had them over to the house and, played cards or something, just kind of build that relationship in the quarterback room because, we all go through the same things and we've all been through the exact same struggles. So it's good to get on those guys early.
Devin, you said you've grown to Brandon and Carnell in spring and the summer last year. You bring in a guy like Jeremiah. There's a lot of programs you lose a guy like Marv and like the coverage bear. But now you're bringing in those 3 5-star kids who can come in. Just what's that like with those guys right now?
It's incredible. I mean, you never have to worry about who's going to line up on the ball, and no matter what position it is, we're always going to have the best players, and the best players are always going to play. Even the 1s, 2s, and 3s are all very equal and could play and start at any other school. So it's pretty nice to know that you can have those weapons.
Do you see those guys kind of hanging out with Emeka though, and kind of leaning on him? How is his leadership showing up for that group?
Yeah, I mean, with everybody leaving the room, he's that older guy. He's in his 4th year, so he's the leader of that room now. But even guys like JB have stepped up and been a leader for those guys, even when they went on the cruise. So there's a lot of leadership going on in that room.